Hello and welcome. Today in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do an autonomous pen testing using Chelys Security Suite. So my name is Alejandro Almeida, and I'll be going over these steps. So the first step you gotta do is you gotta create an account. So you're gonna go over here to register agent. You're gonna type your organization name, put Chelys Corp, our email, chelysSecurity@io.com. We have a password we're going to set. We're going to agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. So, one thing to keep in mind is that the acceptable use policy requires written authorization before scanning any target. This is not just required by us, but it's required by the law. So please make sure before you scan any target or you do any kind of pen testing, always have written authorization before from the company or whoever you're doing it on. So go ahead, create account. The first thing you're going to see is this dashboard. So our security dashboard, right now we have a security posture of 100. This is the best it could be. And the reason why it's 100 right now is because we haven't done any sort of vulnerability assessments using this account. You could see the total number of pen tests, critical findings, open issues, remediation rate, the different weakness categories of the findings. These could be vulnerable services, weak authentication, misconfigurations, and data exposure. One of the very first things you're going to do is set targets and assets. Once you set a target, you could go ahead and do a new pen test. Um, you'll find findings for after the pen test or as you're going with it, as well as the reports. These are generated after a pen test is complete. Different compliances that you could find depending on your findings. If you want to be SOC 2 compliant, you gotta meet the specific types of compliance requirements or common criteria. Same thing with HIPAA and same thing with PCI DSS. Our open source intelligence suite is still in progress. We also have continuous monitoring, so you could automatically schedule scans to know ahead of time what kind of vulnerabilities there are. And we also offer cloud pen testing. Right now, we only offer three services, or three providers actually, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. You would have to provide these credentials here and save them in order to connect to the cloud accounts. Same thing with Active Directory. If you want to give initial foothold, you would have to set the username, password, the domain controller IP, and the name. Continuous integration. This is more to check if your code is secure um, on your GitHub repos. Excuse me. Bug bounty is something that's in progress. It's not completed yet, but we're working on it. You'll see this eventually on the full product. It allows you to select the platform for the bug bounty you want to do, provide a description, engagement rules like scopes, and it does it for you. So one of the things I forgot to mention is the way this works is you have these different agents. And when I say agents, I'm referring to AI agents, that they work in conjunction with an LM orchestrator. This LM orchestrator basically tells each agent what to do. So the very first thing that's going to happen, as with any pen testing engagement, is you have to perform some kind of reconnaissance. The way we differ from typical pen testing uh, is that we have a patented solution or architecture design where we've demonstrated that using a reconnaissance agent, we could actually create a living attack graph of the target network. And with that attack graph, we could then create a digital twin which we could test destructive methodologies against. That way, the actual production servers are not compromised and aren't at risk of getting damaged. So that's one of the benefits of using our service. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys a quick demo. I'm gonna use um, our suite against a hack the box machine called Abducted. It's actually a medium difficulty machine, but only about 700 people have actually been able to solve it. So we're gonna see if Chelys Security is able to actually crack the machine. So we're gonna go over here to add target. We're gonna set the IP address of the target. Is automatically gonna detect it as IP, but you could also set these other settings as well, and you could define if it's in scope or out of scope. It's in scope, so we're gonna go ahead, click add, and we can see right here we have it in scope. We're gonna go over to new pen test. We're gonna go and set a name for our job. We're gonna put my pen test, and we're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna do recon exploit, and we're gonna generate a report at the end. So I'm gonna use Cloud Office for this one. This is for OM orchestrator only. It is basically just tells the different agents what they should be doing and if they should be going back um, to like a previous step of the engagement. For example, you could already be like in post exploitation and you could find something interesting and you want to re-enumerate. The OM agent is actually what allows the entire system to have that level of reasoning to actually go back and re-enumerate different services. So we could define whether we want certain tasks to require approval from us first or be completely autonomous. I'm just going to leave everything autonomous for now. Um, we're going to use a Chelys platform key. This is the one that's provided by Chelys. If you already have a plan with us, you should have a platform key. So don't worry about that. But if you want to use your own API key for the Elm orchestrator, for example, you want to use XAI or um, OpenAI or even like another Claude API key, you could do so. But by default, we use Claude. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do select targets. Gonna select the one that's in scope right here. We don't want to do any open source intelligence on this. Um, and the reason why why we have open source intelligence here is because like sometimes during an engagement, you could actually go into the web and see valuable information from, let's say, like a company employee that's out there, maybe their GitHub repository or something, and it could have exposed environment variables that you could get. And using those environment variables, you could then put them into the actual engagement. So, whoops, I clicked something there. My pen test. So now you know why we have that option, but we're gonna leave that off for now. Um, we don't have any client provided credentials, but if we did, we would do it here. We could select which ones it is, um, but we don't. So very important. You confirm that you have explicit rated authorization to perform security testing on all selected targets. So go ahead, launch pen test. Okay, so fast forward a bit, we could see our results. It took a total of 41 minutes for it to finish the pen testing. It was only able to find one target machine, which is what we expect for this particular pen test. And we could see over here all the different things that it did. So I first started off with reconnaissance. So I ran an Nmap scan to find the open services or ports. It found SSH.HTTP, which is port 22 and 80. Then over here, I proceeded over to running a nucleus scan. and it found all these different informations regarding missing security headers, weaponizer technology detection, Apache detection, and similarly like SSH information. It ran a Nicto scan. It performed fuzzing, and it found these different subdomains. And then it did a bit more reconnaissance. We can see here that it's trying to explore the web application to understand its structure, to identify potential security issues. So we can see that it found several things along the way. It found the login page, guest login option as well. It tried doing a guest login to look for authentication bypass. It was able to get this back. Um, and you can see, uh, it found that both role guest and role equals admins show the same admin panel interface. So perhaps there's something there. And there's a total of 1,373 events. So I'm kind of like gonna go over this like kind of quick because it's pretty long, but you can see that it was able to find administrative accounts, an email for the administrative account. I found an IDOR vulnerability in this directory. We could see there's an insecure direct object reference in admin panel. And as we keep going, um, and it's doing all this enumeration, basically, we could go ahead and we could see that it found a critical find. It discovered accounts via IDOR, so admin, the access ID. It also found a super admin, a John, and a cookie as well. So it tried escalating privileges. It was able to do a file upload. So it uploaded a malicious uh, reverse shell in the form of PHP format. Then it ran a remote code execution on the web shell, and it was able to actually get some form of access. And we could kind of like see that as we keep going. Um, the access it initially got was for this user called Robert, and as you can see here, we have the GID of Robert, and trying to find it. Okay, so right here we have found this. Where was it that it found? Because I know I found a credential for Robert actually. I'll just show you guys once I see it. But over here is trying these different exploits. It has this password of megacorp user, and this megacorp user, I know it ended up finding it. So we have reverse shell. It's okay. Um, I'll just show you guys later on the findings tab. So we just know I was able to get access to Robert. I found that credential, and we can see it here. And it's also finding these other vulnerabilities as well. It's trying to get access to this SUID bug tracker. So we found another vulnerability with the admin panel. There's hard-coded admin credentials in a web application source, actually. Um, and we can see it's trying to connect with the credentials that it found, and it was able to do it. It was able to perform a local privilege escalation using Robert as the initial foothold. So you kind of see here, um, it works. Like it's able to actually automate the entire pen testing methodology. It goes from reconnaissance to enumeration to exploitation, then lateral movement, post-exploitation, um, and all that. Even report writing, which I will show you guys now. But you see, this was a hack the box machine, but it was also able to find the flags. This is for Robert, and then the hard-coded credentials, the administrative credentials, megacorp underscore admin, and then this Robert as well. And you can see it also found the flag for the root as well. So we could put these in on Hack the Box, and it'll basically tell us that we were able to uh, win over the machine. So, it didn't just finish there. It continued trying to find other vulnerabilities as well. And it found quite a lot. It found this um, privilege escalation, wildcard abuse in the pathing. Um, yeah, so it's fully compromised. It's quite a lot, all the different things it found. So I'm pretty happy. So now we go over findings, and we can see it was able to find 19 critical, 13 high, and 21 medium, and one low. Uh, these are ranked by like how severe these findings are. So if we go ahead and we click on this one, this by binary static analysis finding, um, our software automatically gives you a description of what this means, basically, and a proof of the explanation. This is based on what it found on the device itself. So it also gives you a remediation on how to fix this. So use absolute path here. Then we have these other ones. For example, we have access to the shadow hash for the root user and Robert. They're both SHA 512 encrypted, but Robert plain text is confirmed as this. So fixed action for this is to rotate all system passwords immediately, obviously, and ensure Etsy shadow is not reachable by unprivileged users. Should be mode 640 actually. We can see hard-coded database credentials are also found here. Uh, More description on what it does, and fix action is to never store credentials in source code. I mean, duh, come on. Same thing with hard-coded admin password. It's bad practice. So you can see here all the different things it found. Um, it found this dirty cow vulnerability. This is actually huge. If you don't know what dirty cow is, I suggest you Google it because it's a pretty big vulnerability. It's kind of up there with the Eternal Blue one that targets Windows machines. You also have this MySQL Garage database fully dumped. Jesus, look at this. You got the names and the emails of all these users. Um, you could basically access all of them. Uh, this is the one we saw before, the IDOR admin panel user client enumeration. You could use a guest cookie to enumerate these things. So you gotta implement server-side authorization checks for sure. We got all these NICTO ones. We got hidden endpoints like these. These were found through fuzzing. Lateral movement assessments. This is just information we have. It doesn't really align with any kind of severity score, but it could give an attacker information as to how they should move forward. So I found a lot of vulnerabilities. I mean, I even found this one by Baron, Submit It as well, and Poke It. So you can see that. Suggestion is to upgrade sudo, um, SSH initial access via reuse database credentials. So Robert, so SSH credentials um, should be unique. They shouldn't be, well, any credential should be unique. You shouldn't be sharing credentials like across different services to begin with. So we can see it did a really good job. It found all these things. It mapped them to the Maestro framework. Um, so is this compliant with different stuff like HIPAA and all that? Definitely not. This is awful. We have the opportunity to generate a digital twin based on our findings. So we could then do much more sophisticated attacks, for example, DDoS, malware detonations. But right now we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna generate a report. I'm gonna start with generating a full pen test report. We can see over here our penetration test report. So it was conducted on June 13, 2026. This the time that was generated. Overall risk critical. So very important we go through this. So really quick, an executive summary. Found 19 criticals, 13 highs, 21 mediums, and one low. Found these credentials. Uh, yeah, it's pretty bad. So whenever we find credentials like this, it's not good. So we have these critical severities. So we have different types of uh, evidence of what we got, the type of remediation that we suggest. We have these other critical findings, and you'll basically see this for each and every one of them. You know, each vulnerability that it found gives a description, the evidence, followed by remediation. And of course, the most important ones that need to be resolved like ASAP are based on the CVSS scores. So this one's a 9.5, so it's like critical. And you can see the next one is this one's actually worse. This one's a 10. Uh 10 is like the max. So but we rank them based on whether they're critical or not. So you'll see them. They're all equally as bad. 9.5 and 10, there's not much difference. So yeah, these ones are just information. Uh that well, commands that attackers can get to gain insight as to, for example, what type of Apache is running, like the version of Apache. Uh, Same with like this weaponizer technology detection and SSH algorithms enabled. You want to know if it allows the use of these algorithms. Because you could actually like log in through SSH without having a password. Like if you have the hash, you could just use the hash. So uh, that's another important thing to know. We want to do ahead and do like fix actions report for this particular problem. We won't be able to generate these, but we do have the executive summary, the full pen test report. For the segmentation reports, these are more like towards an environment where you have like Active Directory set up. The fixed action reports, this is a little redundant because on a full pen test report, we already provide remediations. But this fixed actions is something we're currently working on to kind of like see how we could do things a little bit like more specific, like step-by-step guidance on how to remediate things. But as of right now, this is pretty good. This is more than enough. So this is executive summary and how it looks. So it's kind of similar to what we had, but it's a little bit more brief and it just quickly explains everything. So this meant to be read by an executive. So 64 findings, not bad. So compliance, uh, we already know it's awful. It's 0% compliant for all of these because uh, when you have these critical findings all across the board, and even like for data transmission security, like even if it's like a medium compliant issue, that's already like bad. Same with PCI DSS, you know. Oh, and I forgot to mention, like, for example, like you could click on these and it shows you exactly like the findings that correspond to this common criteria. So, and you could do the same thing with the other ones as well. So you kind of see like why you're not compliant. HIPAA is kind of huge if you don't have the proper access control settings. So you can see that all throughout. So this fails all across the board. I mean, you could export a compliance report for HIPAA, for example, and you can see like everything is failing. So if I were this client, I would probably get to it and make sure, um, like everything is compliant and just like no issues, because it could be a problem for sure, especially when you have exposed credentials like that. But this is a hack the box machine, so you're kind of expected to find all these things on it. So that's pretty much it. That's what we got so far. Um, Obviously, this is something that's still being worked in progress. We are looking for people who are interested in joining a beta program and trying this out and seeing how well they like it. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to communicate or reach out for a demo, feel free to go over to our website, Chelys.io is our website right here. And if you go over to get demo or right here, initiate engagement, you could book a Swarm walkthrough. So you could basically put your name, email, company, phone number. If you don't have a company, you could just put like NA. And if you have like any specific concerns or areas of interest for the demo, you can put it here as well. Submit it. And that's pretty much it. Um, Once we get a request, we'll reach out to you, schedule a time, and we could do a live demo together. We could help answer any questions you guys have. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.